All right, as much as we see Prime Minister Modi there taking a victory lap after their victory, now you have S&P endorsing Modi's third big economy dream. S&P says India to be third biggest economy by 2030. Global rating body predicts 7% growth in 2026 to 27. S&P now says that India will be the third largest economy by 2030. In fact, this is a report that's coming out endorsing Modi's third big economy dream. This is what Prime Minister Modi has been saying, that India is looking forward to a giant leap. As we see the economy only growing leaps and bounds in the years here, it's projected to be the third biggest economy, a dream that has been spoken multiple times by the Prime Minister himself, that India is at the cusp of glory. Here we see S&P now endorsing India as the third big economy by 2030. It's actually a huge boost to India's economy, at least S&P acknowledging that India is going to be the third big economy in 2030. That clearly shows that we are on the right path. We also see projections of a 7% growth in 2026 to 27. India will become the third largest economy by 2030. This is S&P, a global ratings agency, that said that it forecasts India's GDP growth reaching a whopping 7% by 2026 to 27 fiscal year. Now, this is a global credit outlook of 2024. S&P seeing big gains for India and saying that India is all set to become the third largest economy by 2030. We'll be expecting it to be the fastest growing major economy in the next 3 years. Precisely what S&P has said. And I quote again, India is set to become the third largest economy by 2030, and we expect it to be the fastest growing economy in the next 3 years. S&P almost corroborating what projections and predictions that the Indian government has had. Prime Minister Modi has said it, but when you have a formal agency giving out projections on similar lines, it's certainly reassuring. As we see S&P now, a global ratings agency, predicting a rise for India and a 7% GDP growth. That's what's predicted, and that's going to happen nearly in 2026-27. That's between the year that India is expected to achieve growth of 7%. This is huge, as India has also been acknowledged as the fastest growing economy in the world. The growth rate will be indeed propelling India to become the third largest economy. That prediction is basically 7% growth, GDP growth by 26-27. And that is what is going to propel the country to become the third largest economy. India is currently the fifth largest economy in the world, behind United States, China, Germany and Japan. Sakshi Batra, who tracks business for us, joining us live on the phone. Joining us live, Sakshi, go on. S&P saying that India's GDP growth will be a whopping 7% by 2026-27, and that's going to catapult India to become the third largest economy by 2030.
Absolutely, Nabila, you're right on that. And in fact, it's not just S&P, global brokerage houses have been penciling in a higher growth path for India among the emerging markets, especially in one of the large economies. They have been penciling in that for a long time now. And you can see that happening. You know, the Indian stock markets has already crossed the $4 trillion mark. It's just about a matter of time when the Indian economy also catches up. And you're seeing the entire government victory that you've seen in the state elections pointing to a policy continuation that will continue to hold up to reforms, and all of that helping the Indian economy climb up even higher. The GST collections are at record levels. The recent GDP print for Q2 came in at 7.6%, much higher than anticipated by any street analyst as well, is pointing out to the fact that fundamentally as a company, our reforms are really going in the right direction.
All right, Sakshi, thank you very much for joining us. India certainly going in the right direction. And today's Sensex was at a record all-time high, and that also has been attributed to multiple reasons, one of which is the BJP's whopping victory in the 3 states. So it could be a few more reasons that has led to the Sensex booming, and it's basically the strong microeconomic data, bets of a US rate cut in March, and of course BJP winning this 3-state election. Now projections are that India will become the 3rd largest economy by 2030, with GDP projected at 7% growth by 2026-27.